Welcome back to The Next Level on AM 790. I'm your host, Anthony Gemma. Our telephone number is 437-5000 or toll free at 888-345-0790. In just a moment, we'll be back with singer-songwriter and producer Rob Marin. But first, let's go to Mike with a word from our sponsor. Mike?
Drew and Anthony, the gentleman that's here, this is a little joke in the studio here, everyone. It's Rob Marin.
I get it.
Like marinara.
I really appreciate that.
Okay, just to check. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Mike. So, Rob.
Yes, Anthony.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And as you can tell, I have some real fun guys with me here today.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a blast. Yeah.
So you are multifaceted, actually, yourself. I know the last advertiser was multifaceted, but
right.
Singer, songwriter, producer.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, I think I kind of want to set a baseline for the listeners. So, this is the second week where we brought on performers, and I really believe that entertainment is a major part of what Rhode Island is and can be.
Absolutely.
I certainly believe it brings significant economic development to our region, and I think that there are many people that are looking to break in. So there's multiple reasons that you're here today.
Yes.
So we're going to cover a lot of that because we have quite a bit of time.
No problem.
To talk about it. So first, let's start with you, who you are, and how you've come to be, because your resume is pretty vast. I think that the listener is actually going to be pretty surprised when we get through it all.
Good. Well, basically, music has kind of been always in my family. Growing up, I'm actually in a band with my uncle, and the name of the band's Ambrosiani, so it's an Italian-American band. And growing up, I remember, seeing him and admiring him performing and everything, and that's where I kind of started out. And it's always been my dream and passion to want to be in music. So that's where I started, basically. And I got into writing, recording, producing along the way.
So what is the most difficult? What do you find the most enjoyment? What do you find the most difficult out of the three?
The most difficult is
producing, probably, right?
Well, as far as the music-wise goes, sometimes it kind of depends, because if you kind of have like a creative block and you're trying to come up with something, that might be difficult. But as far as the business end of it, it's the industry sharks, I guess you could say. There's always someone out there trying to claim they know what they're talking about and try to get you to the right people. And you hit a lot of brick walls, and that's just how it goes with the music business.
So Mike here is trying to get into the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what advice, you've been through some pitfalls.
Yeah.
So what pitfalls, without giving out industry secrets,
right.
So to speak, because you've been through quite a bit of turbulence, right? So what advice do you give from someone that's listening, that's trying to break into the industry, things to avoid and stuff like that, especially for Mike here?
Oh, well, for Mike,
he wants to be a stand-up comedian, so.
But I only do my comedy sitting down, so I can't do stand-up.
I admire comedians.
Thank you, Brett.
I think comedy. I think comedy is much harder than singing.
Not for him.
But so I guess for advice to him, I would say don't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. Keep your day job.
Yeah. The thing is just, we were talking about this earlier, there's so much talent out there that it is very difficult to prove yourself to people. And really, you have to kind of put yourself in that element or surround yourself around this type of people to get you to where you want to be. But most of all, you have to be passionate. You have to be dedicated. You just, no matter how many no's you get, you just got to keep going and keep going. And you have to be bit by the music bug, I call it. I was bit by the music bug, and I can't give it up, and I just keep going with it. But my advice is basically to do it on your own, because I found out through the business that major labels aren't going to pick you up unless you're making good money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can do it on your own, then you're all set.
So someone like a Justin Bieber's just happened to fall into some luck.
Yeah,
so some of this is luck.
Exactly. I mean, he got picked up by Usher, that was saw on YouTube, and I mean, come on, there's so many people singing on YouTube. But he got founded by the right person, and they saw the idea, and they made it happen. They were, backed by major money. So
then the other people, the rest of the world,
mm-hmm.
the other 99.9% of the people, it's really through real hard work, dedication,
absolutely,
and really being forthright and sticking it out.
Yep.
And never giving up.
That's right. And it's just as any other business that you would want to start up. If you're starting your own business, it's a lot of hard work, dedication. It's the same thing.
So there's a lot of similarities between a startup business and even creating and launching a career.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. So tell me, what's the next level? So you're here now. And actually, I want to talk about a little bit where you've come from. Because you played internationally.
Yeah, I have.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you were the Rhode Island Idol, which I want to know about that too. But
Sure, no problem.
So tell us where you've played, some of the places that you've played.
Okay.
And then we're going to play some of your music too. So I let the listeners kind of.
Sure.
Going to be exciting to hear some of your great stuff.
Well, most recently, I went with the Italian band to Montreal, Canada, and we performed at a local festival, which is way up in the mountains. Like, you wouldn't even believe how high up we were, but it was amazing. It was really a lot of fun, and the culture that the people keep there, it's kind of winding down from that you see around here, but it was really nice to experience that. And before that, when I started my solo career, I was picked up by a independent label from Germany. I was told by some other people that a lot of major acts start in Germany. Germany is actually the second largest music business area in the world.
And second to the United States. Means one. Okay.
That's right. And so what I did was I went into my little basement studio and I started recording music. I came up with an album and I just started sending it everywhere. And this place in Berlin picked me up and said, "Hey, how would you like to come out here and record a video and a single?" So I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And they flew me out there, and I had a great time, performing there and recording there. It was a lot of fun.
So that video is on YouTube right now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I actually seen it. That was the one that I've seen on YouTube.
That's
right. A very good video.
Yeah, that's called Never Tell Him. If anyone wants to look that up, Never Tell Him. Yeah.
And so how much of the songs, a lot of the stuff you've written, and some of the stuff have written for you? So some of the stuff you're producing from scratch? Yeah,
pretty much all of my music I wrote myself. I've had co-writers that I've worked with, but most of my stuff is original.
And Rhode Island Idol, so 2006.
Okay.
American Idol is a big thing here, right? At the time, it's still a big thing, but it's much bigger. It's even bigger back then, right?
Right.
So tell us about Rhode Island Idol.
Well, I just heard about this thing on the radio. They were looking for singers, dancers, and I just decided to go audition. And it was for ShopNRI.com magazine that was doing the event, and I went and performed, and I was fortunate to get picked as Rhode Island Idol for 2006.
So was it similar to the show, or is it kind of how many songs did you have to sing? Was it a runoff in one night, a multiple night thing?
Well, I think it was kind of luck because I went in there and I sang one song, and the judge was like, "Okay, he's it. That's it." Like they didn't need to see anybody else. So I was kind of, flattered that they said that, but I think it was totally luck at that point. Yeah.
So some of these things are luck. Though.
Yeah.
Well, that's so. How about the writing side? So what inspires you, and how does someone come about that? Is that something that's just it's there? You either have it or you don't have it, or can it be learned? Like, can Mike ever learn how to sing, or can he ever learn how to write a song?
I think anybody can do anything. It's just a matter of how bad they want it.
Yeah.
And as far as becoming,
just so you know, I don't think I could ever sing as much as I would try, as much as I would want.
Come to my studio, I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen.
It's a lot of reverb there, Rob.
So, but basically, as far as being creative and writing, it depends. Some things come from life experiences. Sometimes I could just listen to a track and hear the beat, hear the bass, and all of a sudden a melody will come to my head, and the melody will actually start with lyrics, and then I'll eventually feel what that song is trying to tell me.
And you started out in a band,
right?
So you then went solo. Mm-hmm. Now you're solo. So tell us about the band, because the band was fairly successful, right?
The boy band, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So on the end of the wave of the whole boy band industry, there, we were. I was fortunate to meet some people in Boston, and I was part of a boy band at that point.
Well, I'm going to ask you to hold it there because we have to run to break. And before we do go to break, I'm going to turn it over to Dan for the politics and business spotlight. Dan? Thanks, Dan. We're back with Rob. Rob, let me ask you a question. Actually, why don't you finish up with where you left off with your boy band, the boy band situation? And I wanted to play a couple of your pieces because that's really important.
Is it Marin or
it's?
Yeah, we're going to get this right.
Marin. You can get it.
Marin.
I have trust in you. You can
well, for all of you,
I got to get at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
So,
No worries.
don't worry, my counterparts here will not let me live without him.
This is the same thing for those that know Anthony when he ran for Congress. He always had that one thing we could not get him to say, so we're used to it. He just tries to say it in his mind, and then when it's time to say it, it just comes out wrong. But he has the right spirits. That's for
It's
sure.
a good thing we don't have Christina Aguilera in the studio. That's for sure.
No doubt.
We're going to put Mike back in the boy band.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's start it up. Here we go. So basically, I guess the boy band started when I met someone that said asked me to come to an audition, and had no idea what it was for. But then I found out they were putting together a boy band, and this was kind of towards the end of the boy band phenomena where everybody's getting excited. So we kind of missed the wave of that, but we did have some success with it. The name of the band was called Just Once. And we were able to perform with Ed McMahon.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so he was obviously, he was working on a new show called Next Big Star, which was very similar to American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
He had the whole internet and voting system. It just didn't take off as popular. It wasn't as popular. But we did get to perform at Times Square, New York, where we did the press release for him. We performed at 3LW, who's a well-known artist. They're well-known singers. And we got to perform with Radio Disney. We had a great time with that. I mean, it's just amazing how kids are and how they react to people they don't even know, and they think you're superstars. And we just had a lot of fun with all those types of events.
It was quite a ride. Then you had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So from the band, so you stopped the band and you then go solo.
Right, exactly. Towards the end, it was basically, the band broke up, and then we went our own ways, and I decided to continue with music and as a solo career. And that's pretty much when I started my solo album.
All right, so we're going to play a couple of your pieces because I think that's what our listeners really want to hear.
All right, sure, that sounds good.
So now I'm not Simon, so I really can't give you any kind of feedback.
Oh,
but,
boy.
What I heard actually sounds really good, though.
All right, cool. Glad
We're going
you
to play the first piece right here.
All right.
That sounds like fun. Sounds like you're having a blast.
That's a little tease, right?
Yeah, that's a little tease. They have to get it more from your website. I think,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, they can go to robmarin.com.
Yes.
Or they can go to iTunes to look me up, and I have a lot of songs you can download there.
So actually, we're going to play one more clip because we have a couple more minutes before break. I'm going to play one more clip. I'm going to play two clips here, and then we'll play two clips on the other side of the page.
All right.
But, so the next clip is, what's the next one here? Share My Love.
Too far to see the love in my eyes. The secret I keep, I just can't let you see. 'Cause the love that you share is not with me. Going out of my mind, don't know what to do. I don't want to share my love for you. All this time, all these lies, I want to do this no more.
That's great stuff.
Thank you.
So tell me about what do you do from something like you have a great this particular song that we just heard.
Yeah.
That's something that you produced and written on your own.
Right.
From scratch.
Correct.
So you take this song. We have 1 minute before we're going to go to break here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the thought process on that song. Is there a meaning behind the song?
Well, basically, it was just a personal experience.
Personal experience.
Yeah. And I wrote on that. I worked with producers from Boston, Brad Young and Dow Brain on that particular one, and I actually recorded it and produced it on GarageBand of all things. I thought that might be kind of interesting to know. So I did the whole thing on GarageBand.
I'm going to hold you right there because
Sure.
we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to The Next Level. I'm your host, Anthony Gemma, on your station for Talking Business on AM 790. Make sure you stay with us because we're going to get to the bottom of how you become a star here. And we're going to get you to become a star in Rhode Island.
The Next Level with your host, Anthony Gemma. The Next Level. The Next Level.
Welcome back to the second hour, the next level on AM 790. I'm your host, Anthony Gemma. Our telephone number is 437-5000 or toll free at 888-345-0790. We're back with singer Rob Marin, and I have to tell you, there's a couple things that happened during the break. One is, what do you think of our opening? Because you're a music talent, so maybe you can give us some
It was
pointers.
pretty cool. It was pretty rocking.
It was pretty rocking?
Pretty cool.
I saw you bobbing your head, so we might have got you.
He had the air guitar going.
He had the air guitar going.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that kind of threw you off during break is my two cohorts here decided to
Is
have
that what you call us?
that they had decided to have jumbo Tootsie Rolls in the break. Bailey came back with the break with all the mouth noises.
But I had 45 seconds and it's gone, so you don't hear anything from me.
I'm impressed, Mike. I really am. I'm impressed.
That's pretty much talent there,
Yeah, it is.
So
I took it to the next level.
Well, you should have do that during the break though, because you kind of stressed me out there.
You don't want to tell him what the Tootsie Roll said on it, do you?
No.
Actually, it was a leftover Valentine's Tootsie Roll.
Yes, and it said, "I love you."
And it came from Dan. That's very sweet.
very
Dan. I think
thoughtful.
it's,
That's right, but I tried to take it back once I realized what it said.
And back to Rob Marin.
So, Rob,
Yeah.
a couple different things. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing, because I want to know. Tell me a little about. Because you talked about during the break, and I think that the listeners want to hear about it.
Absolutely. Well, I come from an Italian family. My mother was born in Italy. My father was born in Argentina, but they moved around a lot, so they were also from Italy as well. Mm-hmm. So my father spoke Spanish and Italian. My mother spoke Italian. And we grew up, and it just like a lot of immigrants coming to America, they had a tough time, and one thing I admired from my grandfather was that he was a hustler. Whatever it took to make money, he did it. Mm-hmm. And I learned from that. And I just said, you know what? This guy came here on a boat,
Mm-hmm.
without his family, and had to, struggle like a lot of people do. And he made it happen. He gave them a good life, and I admired him for that. He's my role model.
So you can speak in English,
Mm-hmm.
Italian,
See?
and Spanish.
See?
Oh wow! Now, can you sing? I think you can sing in Italian. As
I
well.
can sing in Italian as well. Yes.
And is it harder to break out there, or you have albums that do both?
Well, actually, American albums are received really well overseas, anywhere really. Mm-hmm. I don't have that market yet, but I have actually did a couple little tiny shows there. But it was a fun time, and I got to sing Italian for them as well. So they love it when someone comes from another country that can speak their language. It's great for them. So
See, my father would love that, because now my family, because I'm the last of 9 children. Mm-hmm. My older brothers and sisters can speak it because my parents spoke Italian when we were growing up. But I think after 6, 7 kids, they decided just to speak English. So I never really was able to learn the second language, and I think that's a wonderful thing. But to be able to sing it is more incredible. To be able to sing. Now, can you sing in Spanish as well?
More in Italian than Spanish, because my upbringing was more Italian. So,
Yes.
but it's kind of funny how it happened. When I was growing up, I was singing Italian songs, not really knowing what they meant, what the words meant, because I just kind of would phonetically sing it. Mm-hmm. And then later on, obviously once I learned the language, I got to understand what they mean.
And Mike only knows the swear words.
Not in Italian, but in Portuguese. Yes. Hey, Rob, can we hear? Can you do something like a one-liner in Italian?
Something in Italian,
yeah,
like just a word or a song.
Just a song, like a beginning of a song, maybe a one-liner. He could do it.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do. Il tuo maglione lungo sulle mani,
Wow, that's good.
che seno che non è cresciuto più. So
Pretty good.
that's a
Actually, I want to play a couple more of your clips before we forget. So there's a couple.
That was very good,
Clips
by the
we're
way.
going to come to. That's good. Mike put you on the spot, but you'll have your chance at him. Don't worry.
No, but that's people don't know this, and I don't even know if Anthony knows this, that I've actually heard Rob play with his wedding band, and he's fantastic. He really is, and he's just a really nice guy. So
Thanks,
I
Mike.
know that he's very talented because I've heard him live myself. But he's also a very nice guy. I've known him probably for about 7 or 8 years, so it was very interesting to have him come in. I knew him years ago when he actually used to own a cell phone company.
Yep.
And he was breaking into the music, and then it just so happens I was at a wedding, and there he was. And ever since, I know he works hard, and that's what's important about business, is just continuing to work hard and doing the right thing. And I think he's got it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
So
it.
we're going to play a clip and then come back and continue our discussion.
When you're hurting, I can wipe away
So you know why I know that's a hit?
How's that?
Because everybody on the other side of the glass here at the studio just started dancing somehow. Just out of, it's pretty amazing.
That's a great song.
When you get a group of people just outside a piece of glass just start dancing because they hear something, that means it's going to be a hit.
That's right. You're right. Once they start moving, you know you got something. That's right. Yeah, that song is great. I actually had the opportunity to work with the producers from Shaggy, the reggae artist. They wrote and produced that song. I recorded that one in New York, and it was just it was great working with those guys. They got awesome talent, so I learned a lot from them.
Tell me, because I did read on your bio about the producers that you did work with. Tell me a little bit about them, and make sure that for some of the listeners that don't know who they are, tell some of the acts that they actually performed with.
Sure, absolutely. Before I was working with Brad Young and Dow Brain. They are from Underground Productions in Needham, Massachusetts. They work with a lot of major acts. They've worked with Aerosmith, NSYNC back in the day. They do a lot of TV and movie stuff as well right now, but their major hit was with LFO, was a group in the late 90s, 2000. They went multi-platinum with that group, and that just, that took off their career as a recording and production studio.
So you said they worked with Aerosmith as well?
Aerosmith, yep.
NSYNC, I think that was the other one that they worked with, Brian McKnight. So
Brian McKnight, right, yep.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to kind of rub elbows with these kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for that opportunity with the boy band auditioning and doing that whole thing, I would have never met them.
Yeah. So how about the song? So tell me a little bit about the song. Is there a meaning behind that song? I think there's a meaning behind everything, but
there is. This particular song, because I didn't write it, it was written for me.
Yes.
We were talking about what type of direction I wanted to go, and I was thinking of Usher. I was thinking of Robin Thicke type of a style, and as soon as I said that, Golden Child, he was like, "Oh, I know exactly what I need to do," and literally. Within a few hours, he had the song done, and the next day I went in to go record it. And it was just amazing. I'm like, that's exactly what I was looking for, and that's the style I wanted, that, everything was just perfect.
So did you know at a young age this was what your style was going to be, or did it kind of evolve? Did it evolve based on circumstances, timing, or just evolve based on your base talent?
Good question. I would say it evolved, because I had a lot of different influences, anywhere from the Beatles to Michael Jackson to Boyz II Men. There's a lot of different influences. So I guess it would grow, and I eventually decided, once I got to my solo career point, or even the boy band point, I decided that I was the, that pop R&B type of style that I sang. That's what I am.
So tell me about the business side of it in that regard. So you're meeting with these producers and such in New York.
Yeah.
What happens? What's the business side of that? And how does what are the pitfalls there? Because it's probably, it's quite the world, right? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and
it really is. Yeah. With these guys, they were great. Most of the time, you go into a production studio and you basically pay the engineer amount of money for the beat or the song, and then there's an extra fee for recording the song as well. So there's different types of payments. With some studios will actually do a what they call basically you just kind of have a contract where you don't pay any money up front, but if there were to be some sales in the future, the contract would say that they get X amount of dollars.
So it's like a 360 deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So they kind of own a piece of you in perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So kind of like a marriage.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's when someone sees a talent, they probably go after someone and try to kind of take advantage of certain circumstances that allow them to own a piece of you in perpetuity.
Definitely. If they see something and they see the potential, it's up to them to help, get you to that next level.
Yeah. So is there a challenge with, I guess to get somebody to break out, if you're connected to the right people, it's not such a big deal.
Right.
But there are people that are unscrupulous that may actually take advantage of those situations.
Definitely. And I've had my share of those types of people. Where I've recorded some things and promised certain things and never delivered, and it's tough because you end up wasting a lot of time, because you have that belief that this person is going to help me get to this to where I need to be, and then nothing ends up happening. So it's really disturbing, but and disappointing. But like I said, my passion just keeps me going.
Well, I have to say that our time is running short.
Sure.
And I certainly want to thank you because, what enlightens me is a couple of different things. One, from the business perspective, there's a business behind all of the stuff that we see. But certainly, someone like you breaks out. You bring a lot of recognition to yourself and the state of Rhode Island, and you really help put us on the map. So I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
And I think that the people that are listening, they're going to actually go and search you out now.
Yeah, hopefully.
And your YouTube account's going to go from whatever it is to 12 million.
That'd be great.
And don't forget the little people.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, we're going to turn it over to Dan. And Dan, take it away.
Feature Business of the Week.
Thank you, Anthony. The business of the week is Sakara Salon on Central Avenue in Pawtucket. Sakara Salon's a full-service day spa that does hair, nails, makeup, waxing, and skin services. They specialize in the latest trends in salon services at fair pricing, including keratin hair straightening. Media Peel uses their service for all of our photo and video shoots, so they definitely have our seal of approval. You got to go see the girls down there at Sakara Salon, Central Avenue in Pawtucket, 722-7700.
Dan, I have a question. Do you get a discount because you have less here?
Yes, absolutely.
So good. So I probably get the same discount then. Well, listen, on the other side of the break, we have Arnell Millhouse, who's the founder and CEO of Spree Hive, with some very exciting news and a great company that's coming on board here in Rhode Island very soon. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Next Level. I'm your host, Anthony Gemma, on your station for Talking Business, AM 790.
It's fly when girls stop by for the summer. I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch. I take her if I have one.